Safety. Safety means keeping people, property, and the environment free from injury, damage, or loss. As environment heat safety, here a hazard identification risk assessment for human ACE aspect impact analysis for environment incident, an unplanned event that results in or has the potential to result in injury, illness, damage, or loss. Accident, an unplanned event that causes injury, illness, or property damage. Near miss, an unplanned event that does not cause injury or damage but could have. Dangerous occurrence, a serious unplanned event with high potential to cause injury, fatality, or major damage, even if no one is harmed. Hazard identification, spot potential dangers before starting work. Risk, the combination of the likelihood of a hazard occurring and the severity of the potential injury or damage. Risk assessment, the process of identifying hazards, analyzing risks, and implementing control measures. Risk control, decide on measures to reduce or eliminate hazards. Accident prevention, stop injuries, illnesses, and damage. Safeguard, a device or procedure designed to prevent accidents. Precaution, measures taken in advance to ward off danger. Emergency, a sudden, unforeseen crisis requiring immediate action. Training and communication, teach workers the safest way to do the job. Compliance, meet company and legal safety requirements. Protocol, the accepted or established code of procedure. Inspection, a critical examination of a facility or process to ensure safety. Evacuation, the orderly, immediate removal of people from a dangerous area. Shelter, a structure providing protection from danger. Guard, a protective device on machinery. Audit, an official inspection of an organization's safety procedures. Alert, a warning to draw attention to potential danger. Caution, an instruction to be careful and avoid risks. Contamination, the presence of a dangerous substance. Protection, ensuring safety from injury. Security, freedom from danger or threats. Safe, free from harm or risk. Secure, protected, locked, or safe. Reliability, the state of being dependable and safe. Toxic, poisonous, capable of causing harm. Ritter, reporting of injuries, diseases, and dangerous occurrences regulations. As, Environment, Health, and Safety House, MS, Health, Safety, and Environment Management System. MSDS/SDS, Material Safety Data Sheet/Safety Data Sheet. Effective Job Safety Analysis STEP 1, choose the procedure. Step 2, break the job into steps. Step 3, identify hazards. Step 4, implement solutions. Step 5, communicate the findings. Step 6, review and update. What is PTW, permit to work? A permit to work, PTW, is a formal written authorization that allows high-risk work to be carried out safely and under controlled conditions. 1. Hazards are identified. 2. Controls are in place. 3. Work is authorized, monitored, and closed properly. Types of PTW. 1. Hot work permit, welding, cutting, grinding, any work producing heat, flame, or sparks. 2. Cold work permit, general maintenance, mechanical work, non-spark producing activities. 3. Confined space entry permit, tanks, vessels, pits, manholes. 4. Work at height permit, scaffolds, roofs, towers, ladders. 5. Electrical work permit, live or isolated electrical work. 6. Excavation/trenching permit, digging, trenching, earthworks. 7. Lifting/crane operation permit, crane lifting, heavy or critical lifts. 8. Energy isolation, LOTO, permit, lockout/tagout of energy sources. 9. Radiography permit, if applicable, X-ray/NDT work. JSA, means breaking a job into steps, finding dangers in each step, and controlling those dangers before starting work. JSA identifies hazards and controls. Control, measures are actions used to eliminate or reduce hazards identified in a JSA. 1. Elimination, remove the hazard completely. Example, stop the job or remove the dangerous task. 2. Substitution, replace the hazard with something safer. Example, use a low voltage tool instead of high voltage. 3. Engineering controls, isolate people from the hazard. Example, machine guards, barriers, ventilation. 4. Administrative controls, change the way people work. Example, PTW, procedures, training, warning signs, job rotation. 5. PPE, personal protective equipment, protect the worker directly. Example, helmet, gloves, goggles, safety shoes. Method statement, purpose of a method statement is to ensure work is done safely, efficiently, and correctly. Method statement explains the full work procedure. 1. Description of the work. 2. Sequence, steps, of activities. 3. Tools, equipment, and materials. 4. Hazards and control measures. 5. PPE required. 6. Roles and responsibilities. 7. Emergency procedures. LOTO, locks and tags machines so no one can turn them on while someone is working. 1. Electrical energy. LOTO. 2. Mechanical energy. LOTO. 3. Hydraulic energy. LOTO. 4. Pneumatic energy. LOTO. 5. Chemical/thermal energy. LOTO. 6. Gravity/potential energy. LOTO. WMS and SWMS. The use of a WMS is to describe how a job will be carried out safely, highlighting hazards and the safety measures to control them. 1. Safety, protect workers, equipment, and environment from hazards. 2. Planning, organize the job in a proper sequence to avoid mistakes. 3. Risk management, identify hazards and control measures for each step. 4. Training and communication, inform workers about risks and procedures. 5. Compliance, meets legal and company safety requirements. 6. Quality control, ensures work is done according to standards. MSDS, Material Safety Data Sheet, now commonly called SDS, Safety Data Sheet, is a document that gives safety information about chemicals. Step 1. Identification, product name, manufacturer/supplier details, emergency contact number, recommended use. Step 2. Hazard, S, identification, chemical hazards, health, physical, environmental, hazard symbols and signal words, danger/warning, hazard statements, and precautionary statements. Step 3. Composition/information on ingredients, chemical ingredients, concentration, percent, Ca numbers, impurities or stabilizing substances. Step 4. First aid measures, inhalation, skin contact, eye contact, ingestion, symptoms, and required medical attention. Step 5. Firefighting measures, suitable extinguishing media, specific fire hazards, protective equipment for firefighters, special firefighting procedures. Step 6. Accidental release measures, emergency actions for spills or leaks, personal precautions, environmental precautions, cleanup methods. Step 7. Handling and storage, safe handling precautions, safe storage conditions, incompatible materials, hygiene practices. Step 8. Exposure control/personal protection, exposure limits, OSHA, ACCA, etc., engineering controls, required. PPE, gloves, goggles, respirator. Step 9. Physical and chemical properties, appearance, color, odor, pH, melting/boiling point, flash point, solubility. Step 10. Stability and reactivity, chemical stability, conditions to avoid, heat, sparks, pressure, incompatible materials, hazardous decomposition products. Step 11. Toxicological information, routes of exposure, acute and chronic effects, toxicity data, carcinogenic information. Step 12. Ecological information, environmental impact, toxicity to aquatic life, persistence and degradability. Step 13. Disposal considerations, safe disposal methods, waste treatment, disposal regulations. Step 14. Transport information, UN number, proper shipping name, hazard class, packing group, transport regulations. Step 15. Regulatory information, safety, health, and environmental regulations, country-specific regulatory details. Step 16. Other information, Date of preparation or revision, abbreviations, additional notes, or disclaimers. Fire extender. A fire extinguisher is a portable safety device used to control or put out small fires in an emergency. 1. Class A solid materials: wood, paper, cloth, rubber, water, foam, AFFF. 2. Class B flammable liquids: petrol, diesel, oil, paint, foam, AFFF, CO, dry powder. 3. Class C electrical fires: live electrical equipment, CO, dry powder, never use water. 4. Class D metal fires: magnesium, sodium, aluminum powder, special dry powder, Class D. 5. Class F, or K, cooking oil and fat fires, deep fat fryers, cooking oil, wet chemical. Write an accident investigation report. 1. Basic information: date, time, and location of the accident, names of injured people and witnesses, department or work area. 2. Describe the accident, what happened before, during, and after the accident, include sequence of events clearly and factually, avoid assumptions, stick to facts. 3. Identify injuries or damage, type of injury or illness, extent of damage to equipment, property, or environment. 4. Identify causes, immediate causes, unsafe act or condition that triggered the accident, root causes, underlying reasons, lack of training, poor procedures, missing PPE. 5. Witness statements, collect statements from people who saw the accident, record their observations accurately. 6. Photographs and evidence, take photos of the scene, equipment, or damaged items, include sketches if necessary. 7. Corrective actions/recommendations, list actions to prevent recurrence, assign responsibility and timeline for each action. 8. Conclusion, summarize the findings and the lessons learned. 9. Signatures, investigator, supervisor, and safety officer should sign and date the report. Important documents inside PTW. A PTW must include or attach: 1. Permit form, job description, location, date, and validity period. 2. Risk assessment, hazard identification, control measures. 3. Job safety analysis, JSA, step-by-step task hazards and controls. 4. Method statement, how the job will be done safely. 5. Toolbox talk record, worker briefing and signatures. 6. Isolation/LOTO certificate, if required, electrical/mechanical/chemical isolation. 7. Gas test certificate, if applicable, confined space/hot work. 8. Equipment certificates, crane, lifting gear, scaffold tag, MEWP. 9. Emergency and rescue plan, first aid, fire, rescue procedures. 10. Authorized signatures, issuer, receiver, supervisor, house. What is work at height? Work at height means any work where a person could fall and be injured, even if the height is not very high. 1. Above ground level. 2. Below ground level, into pits, shafts. 3. Near edges or openings. Hazards in work at height. 1. Falling from height, falling from ladders, scaffolds, roofs, leading cause of serious injury and death. 2. Falling objects, tools or materials falling on people below, poor housekeeping or missing toe boards. 3. Unsafe access and platforms, damaged ladders or scaffolds, incomplete platforms, or missing guardrails. 4. Slips, trips and loss of balance, wet, oily, dusty surfaces, uneven or narrow platforms. 5. Structural failure, scaffold collapse, weak or overloaded platforms. 6. Weather conditions, strong wind, rain making surfaces slippery, poor visibility. 7. Electrical hazards, contact with overhead power lines. Using metal ladders near electricity. 8. Improper use of PPE, no safety harness, incorrect anchorage, defective lanyards. 9. Manual handling hazards, carrying heavy materials at height, overreaching or awkward posture. 10. Lack of training and supervision, untrained workers, No method statement or permit. What is a safety harness? A safety harness is personal protective equipment, PPE, designed to prevent or arrest a fall when a person is working at height. Safety harness be used above 1.82 meters 1. Work at height 2. Scaffolding work 3. Roof work 4. Ladders 5. Steel structure and tower work 6. MEWP/man lift/boom lift 7. Confined space entry, vertical, 8. Open edges and openings 9. Areas without guardrails. Types of safety harness 1. Full body harness, most common, 2. Fall arrest harness 3. Positioning harness 4. Suspension harness 5. Rescue/confined space harness 6. Tower/climbing harness. Inspect a safety harness, step by step, before every use, by the user, periodic inspection, monthly/quarterly by competent person, after a fall. Remove from service immediately. 1. Check the labels and certification. 2. Inspect webbing, straps, 3. Inspect stitching. 4. Inspect D-rings. 5. Inspect buckles and adjusters. 6. Inspect lanyard, if attached, 7. Check overall condition. 8. After a fall weather condition. Work at height. 1. Strong wind, wind speed, sudden gusts that can cause loss of balance, any wind that affects lifting, scaffolding, ladders, MEWPs, or suspended loads. 2. Heavy rain, rain that makes surfaces slippery, reduced visibility, risk of electrical hazards. 3. Ice, snow, or frost, slippery platforms, ladders, roofs, ice buildup on structures or handrails. 4. Fog/poor visibility, when workers cannot clearly see edges, anchor points, or ground, visibility too poor for safe communication or equipment operation. 5. Thunderstorm/lightning, all work at height must stop immediately, especially dangerous near metal structures, cranes, towers. 6. Extreme heat, heat stress, dehydration, fatigue, reduced concentration increases fall risk. Wind speed m/skm/h condition action 07 m/s710 m/s1013 m/s13 m/s less than or equal to 7 less than or equal to 25 km/h normal work allowed 25-36 km/h moderate wind caution, secure tools, supervisor approval 36-47 km/h strong wind stop most work at height 47 km per hour high/gale stop all work at height equipment specific limits, typical, ladders, stop above 7 m/s scaffolding work, stop above 10 m/s MEWP/man lift, stop above 12.5 m/s. 45 km per hour, crane/suspended loads, stop above 9-10 m/s roof work/steel structures, stop above 7-8 m/s. What is excavation? Excavation is the process of removing soil, rock, or other materials from the ground to create space for construction works such as foundations, trenches, basements, pipelines, cables, or roads. Excavation includes digging, trenching, drilling, and earth removal by manual or mechanical means. Types of excavation. 1. Trench excavation, long, narrow excavation, used for pipes, cables, drainage, usually deeper than wide. 2. Foundation excavation, for buildings, columns, footings, depth depends on structural design. 3. Basement excavation, large, deep excavation, for underground floors or parking. 4. Earth excavation, removal of topsoil or ordinary soil, for landscaping or shallow works. 5. Rock excavation, removal of hard rock, may require blasting or heavy breakers. 6. Cut and fill excavation, cutting soil from high areas, filling low areas to level ground. 7. Borrow excavation, soil taken from one location, used as fill material elsewhere. 8. Dredging, water excavation, excavation underwater, rivers, canals, ports, excavation hazards. 1. Cave-in/collapse, most serious hazard, soil falling on workers can be fatal too. Fall of persons, people falling into open excavations. 3. Falling objects, tools, materials, soil falling into pit. 4. Hazardous atmosphere, low oxygen, toxic or flammable gases. 5. Mobile equipment, excavators, dumpers hitting workers, overturning near edges. 6. Water ingress/flooding, rain or groundwater filling excavation, weaken soil walls. 7. Underground utilities, damage to electric cables, gas, water lines, risk of electrocution or explosion. 8. Structural collapse, nearby buildings, roads, or poles collapsing. 9. Heat and poor ventilation, especially in deep excavations, excavation depth rules. Excavation depth rules. 1. Excavation up to 1.2 m, 4 feet, still hazardous, risk of slips, minor collapse, keep edges clear, spoil greater than or equal to 0.6 m away, safe access if needed, daily visual inspection, barricade open edges. 2. Excavation 1.2 m, 1.5 m, 4-5 feet, high risk level starts here, sloping, benching, or shoring required, no vertical sides unless supported, safe access, ladder or ramp, competent person inspection, no heavy equipment near edge. 3. Excavation more than 1.5 m, 5 feet, permit to work, PTW, protective system compulsory, shoring, trench, box, sloping/benching, ladder every 7-8 m, continuous supervision, gas test if deep or confined, emergency rescue plan. 4. Excavation more than 3 m, extra controls required, engineer design support system, soil classification test, monitoring nearby buildings/roads, dewatering system, if water present, restricted access zone, weather monitoring, stop in rain. What is lifting? Lifting is any operation where a load is raised, lowered, moved, or suspended using lifting equipment such as cranes, hoists, forklifts, chain blocks, or slings. A lifting operation includes planning, rigging, lifting, moving, lowering the load. Types of lifting. 1. Manual lifting, lifting by hand, boxes, tools, small materials. 2. Mechanical lifting, lifting using machines or equipment. 3. Special lifting. A. Crane lifting, mobile crane, tower crane, crawler crane, truck-mounted crane. B. Hoist lifting, chain block, electric hoist, winch. C. Forklift lifting, pallets, containers, materials. D. MEWP/man lift, load handling, limited lifting of tools/materials, as permitted. E. Rigging and sling lifting, wire rope slings, chain slings, web slings, shackles, hooks, spreader beams. Lifting hazards. 1. Dropped load, load falling due to sling failure or poor rigging. 2. Overloading, exceeding SWL/WLL of crane or lifting gear. 3. Swinging load, uncontrolled movement causing impact. 4. Failure of lifting gear, worn or damaged slings, hooks, shackles. 5. Equipment overturning, crane or forklift tipping due to poor ground or radius. 6. Crushing/pinch points, hands or body caught between load and structure. 7. Contact with overhead power lines, electrocution risk. 8. Weather conditions, high wind affecting load stability. 9. Poor communication, wrong signals between rigger, banksman, and operator. 10. People in lifting zone, unauthorized persons under suspended load. Critical lifting activity. A critical lifting activity, CLA, is a lifting operation that involves unusually high risk due to factors like load, environment, equipment, or proximity to people and structures. 1. Heavy lifts, lifting loads near the maximum safe working load, SWL, of the crane/equipment. 2. Long or bulky loads, structural steel beams, large panels, pipes, or equipment that swing or are hard to control. 3. Lifts near hazards, over people, live traffic, buildings, power lines, or other equipment. 4. Multiple crane lifts, 2 or more cranes lifting one load together, dual crane lifts. 5. Lifts in confined or restricted areas, limited space or difficult ground conditions. 6. Special lifts, loads requiring rigging adjustments, tag lines, or rotation, rotating loads, tipping loads, or unconventional lifting methods. 7. High-risk environmental conditions: wind, rain, poor visibility, or unstable ground. Type of the crane: 1. Mobile crane. 2. Crower crane. 3. Floating crane. 4. Truck-mounted crane. 5. Tower crane. 6. Bridge/overhead crane. 7. Bulk handling crane. 8. Hammerhead crane. Crane parts: 1. Boom. 2. Slings. 3. Shackle. 4. Flying jib. 5. Antitois block. 6. Outrigger. 7. Main hoist. 8. Auxiliary hoist. 9. Pulley. 10. Web slings. 11. Load movement indicator. Safe lighting plan. 1. Purpose: to ensure adequate, safe, and reliable lighting so work can be carried out safely without risks of slips, trips, falls, or errors. 2. Scope: construction sites, work at height, confined spaces, excavations, night or low visibility work, emergency situations. 3. Lighting requirements: minimum levels, general work areas, greater than or equal to 200 lux, detailed/precision work, greater than or equal to 500 lux, walkways and access routes, greater than or equal to 100 lux, stairs and ladders, greater than or equal to 150 lux. Emergency lighting, sufficient for safe evacuation. 4. Types of lighting: temporary site lighting, LED floodlights, task lighting, focused work lamps, tower lights, large outdoor areas, emergency lighting, battery or generator backed, explosion-proof lighting, hazardous areas. 5. Installation rules: lights must be securely mounted, no hanging cables. Position lights to avoid glare and shadows. Cables routed safely, no trip hazards. Use weatherproof, IP-rated, fittings outdoors. Keep lights away from flammable materials. 6. Electrical safety: all lighting must be properly grounded/earthing. Use RCD/ELCB protection. Damaged cables or fittings remove immediately. Only qualified electricians to install or repair. 7. Inspection and maintenance: inspect lighting daily for damage or failure. Replace broken bulbs immediately. Clean lenses regularly to maintain brightness. Record inspections in site log. 8. Emergency lighting: emergency lights must turn on automatically during power failure, be tested monthly, have battery backup or generator supply, clearly illuminate exit routes and muster points. 9. Responsibilities: site manager, ensure lighting plan is implemented. House officer, monitor compliance and inspections. Supervisor, report poor or failed lighting. Workers, do not work in poorly lit areas. 10. Prohibited practices: working in dark or poorly lit areas, using damaged or exposed wiring, overloading lighting circuits, temporary unsafe connections. Confined space: a space that is not designed for continuous human occupancy, has limited entry or exit, and may have hazardous conditions, tanks, vessels, pits, manholes, silos, tunnels. 1. Permit to work, PTW, confined space entry permit is mandatory. Permit must be approved before entry. Permit valid only for specified time and conditions. 2. Risk assessment and planning: conduct risk assessment and JSA, identify atmospheric, physical, and chemical hazards, prepare an emergency rescue plan, no improvisation. 3. Atmospheric testing: the air before and during entry, oxygen, 19.5%, 23.5% flammable gases, 10% LEL toxic gases, within permissible limits. Continuous gas monitoring required. 4. Ventilation: provide forced ventilation to maintain safe atmosphere. Ventilation must run before and during work. 5. Isolation, LOTO, isolate all energy sources, mechanical, electrical, hydraulic, chemical. Apply lockout/tag out, LOTO. 6. Entry supervision: assign authorized entrant attendant, standby person, entry supervisor. Attendant must remain outside at all times. 7. PPE requirements: hard hat, gloves, safety shoes, respiratory protection if required, safety harness with lifeline for vertical entry, intrinsically safe lighting. 8. Communication: maintain continuous communication. Use radios, hand signals, or lifelines. Emergency signals must be understood by all 9. Rescue and emergency rescue team must be available before entry. No untrained rescue attempts allowed. Rescue equipment ready: tripod, winch, SCBA. 10. Lighting and tools: use low voltage/explosion proof lighting only. Approved tools allowed. Prevent sparks and heat sources. 11. Permitted voltage, safe limits: 24V recommended and safest 42V allowed in some standards with extra controls. 110V, center tapped, RCD protected, allowed only with strict controls. 230V/240V not allowed inside confined spaces. Scaffolding safety rules. 1. Training and competency: only trained and authorized scaffolders may erect, modify, or dismantle scaffolds. Workers must understand load limits and safety procedures. 2. Inspection: inspect scaffolds before each shift and after bad weather or modifications. Do not use damaged, bent, or corroded components. 3. Foundation and stability: scaffolds must be erected on solid, level ground. Use base plates and sole boards where required. Never use loose bricks, blocks, or barrels as supports. 4. Load limits: do not exceed the scaffold's safe working load, SWL. Distribute materials evenly, no overloading. 5. Guardrails and protection: install top rails, mid rails, and toe boards on open sides and ends. Use debris nets or screens when necessary. 6. Access and egress: use proper access, ladders, stair towers. Do not climb cross braces. 7. Fall protection: use safety harnesses where required, especially during erection and dismantling. Tie off to approved anchor points only. 8. Weather conditions: stop work during strong winds, heavy rain, or storms. Keep platforms free from ice, oil, and debris. 9. Tagging system: green safe to use, yellow restricted use, red unsafe/do not use. Scaffolding installation measurements. 1. Standards: vertical posts, spacing, along length max 2.0-2.5 m, spacing, width 1.2-1.5 m must be plumb, vertical, at all times, installed on base plates and sole boards. 2. Ledgers: horizontal lengthwise, vertical distance between ledgers, max 2.0 m must be level and securely fixed to standards. 3. Transoms: horizontal widthwise, spacing, max 1.2-1.5 m. Main transoms must support scaffold boards fully. 4. Working platform: minimum platform width, light duty, 600 mm, medium duty, 800 mm, heavy duty, 1000 mm. Platforms must be fully boarded. Board overhang, 50-150 mm, not more. 5. Guardrails: top guardrail height, 950-1100 mm, mid-rail height, approximate 475-50 mm, required on all open sides above 2 m height. 6. Toe boards: minimum height, 150 mm, must be fixed on all exposed edges. 7. Access ladders: ladder angle, 4.175 degrees, ladder extension above platform, greater than or equal to 1.0 m. Ladders must be secured top and bottom. 8. Ties to structure: first tie, at 4 m height, vertical tie spacing, every 4 m horizontal tie spacing, every 6 m. Pattern may vary by design. 9. Safe working load, SWL, light duty, 225 kg/m, superscript 2, medium duty, 450 kg/m, superscript 2, heavy duty, 675 kg/m, superscript 2. Accident: unplanned event causing injury, damage, or loss. ALARP: as low as reasonably practicable. Asphyxiation: lack of oxygen causing suffocation. Barricade: physical barrier to prevent access. Banksman: person guiding vehicle or crane movement. Buddy system: working in pairs for safety. Confined space: enclosed area with limited entry/exit and hazards. Competent person: trained an authorized person. Critical lift: high-risk lifting operation. Control measure: action to reduce risk. Danger: source of potential harm. Dropped object: falling from height. Duty of care: legal responsibility for safety. Emergency: serious, Unexpected situation: excavation, ground removal, below surface exposure, contact with hazard, fall protection system preventing falls, first aid, immediate treatment after injury, fire, triangle, heat, fuel, oxygen. Grounding/earthing, electrical safety connection, gas test, checking atmosphere for hazards, hazard source or situation with potential harm, hierarchy of control, eliminate to PPE, hot work, welding, cutting, grinding, incident, unplanned event, with or without injury, isolation, making equipment safe, LOTO, JSA/job safety/hazard analysis, LOTO, lockout/tag out, LTI, lost time injury, method statement, step-by-step safe work method, manual handling. Lifting by hand, near miss incident without injury or damage, overloading exceeding safe limits, permit to work, PTW, written authorization to do high-risk work, PPE, personal protective equipment, risk, likelihood, time, severity of harm, rescue plan, emergency recovery procedure, safe working load, SWL, maximum safe load, scaffold, temporary work platform, supervisor, person in charge of work, toolbox talk, short safety briefing, trench, narrow excavation, work at height, work where a fall risk exists, working load limit, WLL, max permitted load, house, health, safety and environment, HSE, health, safety, security and environment, as environment, health and safety, PPE, personal protective equipment, RPE, respiratory protective equipment, MSDS/SDS, material safety data sheet/safety data sheet, RA, risk assessment, JSA/job safety analysis/job hazard analysis, MS/WMS, method statement/work method statement, PTW. Permit to work, TBT, toolbox talk, SWP, safe work procedure, WA, work at height, MEWP, mobile elevating work platform, FBH, full body harness, SRL, self-retracting lifeline, SWL, safe working load, loader, lifting operations and lifting equipment regulations, WLL, working load limit, CLA, critical lifting activity, SOP, standard operating procedure, CM, crane mat, CS, confined space, CSE, confined space, entry, O, oxygen, LEL, lower explosive limit, UL, upper explosive limit, HS, hydrogen sulfide, CO, carbon monoxide, LOTO, lockout/tag out, RCD, residual current device, ELCB, earth leakage circuit breaker, LV, low voltage, HV, high voltage, ET, excavation, tag/permit U/G, underground cat cable avoidance tool, ERP, emergency response plan, ERT, emergency response team, FA, first aid, SCBA, self-contained breathing apparatus, FRA, fire risk assessment, LTI, lost time injury, MTI, medical treatment injury, RTA. Road traffic accident, NCR, nonconformance report, HEPO, high potential incident.